Yeah, it was executed well. I would say that was executed well, but it's easier to do that on screen, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, you have a couple of explosions. You have the bad guy shouting or whatever. You do his makeup so he looks kind of
I
scary.
don't know. Well, there's a reason why books are always better than films. So I don't know if it is easier to do it on TV.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right. I disagree with everything.
Disagree straight away. So you're right. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I know exactly what this book is. It's the whimsical, family-friendly Guardians of the Galaxy in book form. Evie Sage is our titular character, the accomplice to the villain. The girl who's not like other girls, just trying to keep her head above water amongst magical murder plots, beheadings, and an entirely inappropriate crush on her boss. 15-hour read, third in the series. I do always say the mark of a good writer is to jump in at book 3 and smell what's cooking.
Alright, so do you think you saw evidence of a good writer?
I thought the cooking was burnt. Who let this woman cook?
Pause this video right now! Go and read Accomplice to the Villain by
Hannah Nicole Maehrer. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
So, do you think the author was doomed from the start, or do you think that she just fucked it up?
No, I don't think she was doomed from the start. I think there was a lot of
so that means she
execution. Yeah, execution wise. First of all, and I'm always going to say this when the book's 15 hours long, it was too long.
Yeah.
It was too long. There was too much in it. Yeah. There was too much going on in it. There was too many people in it. There was just too much of everything. Side quests. Too much going to this place to get this. And too much going to that place to talk to this guy. It was just too much.
Just call him up.
Overstimulating, right? I nutted and she kept sucking.
I'm not going to complain. You go first then, since I've only got 3.
There is a lot going on in this book. It almost feels more like an open world video game than it does a novel. In an open world game, the idea is to have as much content as possible, and that's kind of how this book feels. There's magic, which could be an entire subplot by its own, by the way. And then there's prophecies, there's talking frogs. It's probably dizzying enough for fans of the series. But for me, who's coming in at book 3, head spun. So I just thought there was way too much going on in there, and it really did feel like a video game where the idea is just have as much, keep somebody entertained for as long as humanly possible.
So what do you think, as an author yourself, where do you land on this question then? So obviously if you write sequels, you want somebody to pick up the book and know what's going on. But at the same time, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, because you don't want to take away their need to buy the first book.
Absolutely. And whenever I say, and I'm going to say it a few more times in my notes, whenever I say we're coming in at book 3, that is on us, by the way. I'm not like trying to blame the author for us coming in at book 3. We're just, whatever it is. I said us, I was being nice. So no, but in all seriousness, that's not a criticism on the author. It can be a criticism in the sense that if I pick up, like we read The Perfect Divorce, for example, and I was like, I didn't even notice we didn't read A Perfect Marriage. But
yeah.
So that it can be a compliment to the author, but I don't think it should necessarily take away if you don't know what's going on, especially in these fantasy worlds where, you know, they're dropping names, they're dropping places,
Who doesn't want an easy read? You want your book to be easily read, and you want it, comprehensible.
Some people don't want that though, especially in fantasy. You know, classic fantasy has never been an easy read ever. You've seen Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. You know how big that book is. Doorstep.
Yeah.
So
I've never even watched the films. So let's end that conversation then. I'm going to be honest to our 2 listeners. We haven't read the first book or the second, and we're diving head first into this one. This seemed like a good idea, but very quickly I've realized that this is going to be trickier than I thought. What makes it worse is that I didn't even read the blurb either.
Damn.
So I have some questions. How is this villain even a villain? Tristan seems to just be a sociopath, somebody who struggles to understand their own emotions. The only emotions that he seems to understand is rage and horniness. Don't tell me that the male love interest is a man that is the man that's getting all the girls is a man who's filled with toxic masculinity.
Angry and horny, and that's it.
Don't they say that they hate men like this? In any case, I wasn't expecting this book to be my cup of tea, but I was expecting it to be my shot of tequila. A concoction of Despicable Me and maybe Rick and Morty, but not this. I expected Harley Quinn and the Joker. I thought that they would be terrorizing the city. I don't know, maybe stealing cars and going joyriding for fun? Because what else does a villain do for fun? Watch TV? Instead, we have a sexually frustrated couple and no plot. What was the author thinking? Or am I at fault for not reading the first book or the blurb? Or is the title of the book misleading?
I don't think it was. I didn't really like the title to begin with. Even before I read the book,
Well,
I
I
didn't
think
really
the
like
title
the
was
title.
probably set before she wrote the book, though. Because of the first one, and then the second one. So she
Yeah,
had
no,
to
but
work it
even
in.
that, like, been the whole thing. Like, I wasn't a fan of the
the
whole. Matter of fact, I wasn't a fan of the whole this to the villain sort of thing. Like, I wasn't. No, I wasn't a fan of it, and I just kind of brushed it off because I was just like, doesn't matter if I'm a fan of it. Let's see if I'm a fan of the book.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and it was disappointed by that.
I was disappointed by that as well. But yeah, no, I wasn't really a fan of it, to be honest. It seemed like a not sitcom, like a comedy TV show, but with like in a fantasy world sort of thing. And I don't know if that's ever been done before.
Talking about villains, isn't the go-to? Don't you expect something a bit more dark?
Yeah,
Because this was so.
Yeah, it was whimsical.
Like yeah.
That's why I likened
exactly.
it to Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
because it's just like, you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like, oh, there's no stakes whatsoever. The movie tries to pretend like there's stakes,
Yeah.
but you know no one's dying.
But at least Guardians of the Galaxy's done well.
Yeah, it was executed well. I would say that it was executed well, but it's
this is
easier to do that on screen, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, you have a couple of explosions, you have the bad guy shouting or whatever, you do his makeup so he looks kind of
I
scary.
don't know. Well, there's a reason why books are always better than films. So I don't know if it is easier to do it on TV.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right. I'm disagreeing with everything.
Disagree straight away. So you're right. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm really not a fan of this goofy female main character trope. It feels like it was written by the world's #1 pick-me girl. Like, every girl wants to be this goofy, carefree, fun spirit who holds the fate of the world in her hands. There's a lot of goofiness in the book as well, like innuendos, double entendres, goofy nicknames, which is all well and good, but I always feel like comedy should be used sparingly. The problem with it is if the book suddenly needs to get serious, it's going to throw the tone off completely.
And every time there's anything serious, someone cracks a joke.
Exactly, and it's just like, if someone farted 2 seconds ago, I'm not going to take whatever's happening now seriously. I can still smell the fart.
Because we know farts are the funniest things in the world.
And there's going to be another one in like 2 seconds.
The book reads, "It's time for you to try your hand at torture. Finally, is this boring book going to actually start?" The torture scene didn't really satisfy my dark fantasies, but I guess it would be naive to expect to be fulfilled in that way from a romance book, because that's what this is.
No, I don't think that's no, I think you're well in your rights to expect that. It's a romance book. It could be dark romance.
Yeah,
You're well in your rights to expect that. It's just like what I said about tone.
That's what
you
you
can't have like this really super dark, gritty torture scene where you have to do this if there was a fart 2 seconds. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just a tone issue.
A lack of fulfillment is what I experienced from this book. Every single chapter left me confused. Combine that with a complete lack of motivation to read on, and you've got a deadly combination. A crippling feeling. Honestly, it felt like what I imagined an inmate on death row might be feeling. The sense of totally giving up. So halfway through the book, the villain confesses that he loves Evie. I'd bloody hope so. But why is Evie
3
acting
books in,
like this is news to her? We're 2 books in. Wasn't this stuff all cleared up in the first book? Maybe the 2 books are so confusing that not even the characters know what's going on.
Crazy definition of slow burn, innit?
So I commend everybody who actually finished this book cover to cover, because I regret to say that I actually DNF'd this book, and that's not a regular occurrence for me. I think the only other book that I DNF'd was God of the Woods, but
What was her name? Was it not? It wasn't Alice Feely, was it?
Liz Moore.
Oh, God of the Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I've deleted that one.
So honestly, did you finish the book?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh,
I finished it.
And that's the question for you guys at home. Would you power through a book just for closure, or do you DNF like I did once the frustration outweighs the fun? I mean, I got attachment issues, so I usually want to see things through to the bitter end.
I know why you didn't finish it though. I know why you didn't finish it though, because like when I'm reading, sometimes if something doesn't go in, I'll just keep going. And I feel like if you do that, you will get to the end of some of these books. But it's just like, if you're gonna go back and be like, and focus on your confusion, just let it go.
There was another one, Ministry of Sound. I finished that, but it was like this book. It was going in, and I couldn't tell you what was going on, and I was trying to go back, and when it's just a chore, I don't want to. I normally still tough it out, but this book, I was just like, there was I didn't see any benefit. There was no win at the end of the book.
It was incredibly long and just droning and just after a long scene, there'll just be another long scene. It was a mission. A lot of characters. We see this problem a lot in novels, but strangely, there hardly seem to be problems with the vast amount of readers. At the end of the day, these books are New York Times bestsellers, so I suppose the people have spoken. This is only really something I find myself criticizing since I heard you say it, though. I find myself aggravated by it more and more. We've got Tristan and Evie, our heartthrob main couple. We've got Kingsley, the prince/frog. We've got King Benedict. We've got Nora Sage, the mum. Lissa Sage, the sister. Gideon, Keely, Tatiana. The list goes on and on. There were at least 4 or 5 that I didn't mention, I think.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, we have no idea who most of these people are because we started on the 3rd book. For me personally, especially if they're going to be POVs, I want 2 main characters and then 3 or 4 backup characters who don't get any POVs. A good producer knows he cannot promise everybody screen time. And this is pretty much what I feel like this author tried to do. Promise all her characters screen time.
I can only assume was it fan service? Where they...
that's a good point, to be fair. Because it's 3 books in.
Some people that like these characters and they're trying to please everybody or whatever.
Yeah, maybe the first one wasn't like that at all.
Do you know what? It definitely wasn't. I think POVs were added to this book. None of the other books had POVs.
That's illegal. That is illegal. You can't do that.
Or just adding the 4th wall.
You can't just randomly out of nowhere. Or
I think 4th wall's already
the next one's first person. The next one's first person. You can't do that. No.
Why?
No. That's illegal.
The book's either POV or it's
Shame.
not.
That's haram. Yeah.
5 stars. You wanted creativity? You got it.
I want creativity, but at the same time, I always say this: like, if I ask for creativity, you give me shit creativity. I'm within my rights to tell you it was shit. I can't shut up just because you gave me what I didn't ask for shit. So you didn't give me what I asked for, did you?
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I think I read some reviews and it said someone said it. I don't know how true it is.
What, the POVs just got added?
Yeah.
That's illegal. I never support that.
It's my turn, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Is this your last one?
It's my last one.
Alright, I've got my last one.
This book leaned heavily on the angst and tension between the 2 main characters. Normally, I'd eat that shit up. I love a good slow burn, but here it started to feel repetitive. It felt less like natural tension and more like the author was dragging things out to make it to book 3. And when it comes to slow burn, I think authors need to realise that there is actually a thing as too slow. It also felt like the author had so many ideas she wanted to cram onto the page that she lost the thread of the actual story. The editor should have stepped in and pushed for a stronger world building and clearer explanations, especially around the quests and the magic. Instead, we were left with a muddled fantasy backdrop and a romance that never really delivered. Tristan, Evie, Blade, and sometimes Tatiana, sometimes Becky, sometimes Tristan's sister, all went on these random missions to collect scraps of information about fate, Evie's mum, Starlight Magic, and let's not forget the bizarre side quest to change Kingsley the Frog back into a man. The constant skipping and jumping between these quests didn't add depth. If anything, it only highlighted how shallow the details really were, and left me with more questions than answers. And don't even get me started on the magic system. Tristan's so-called dark magic, sometimes referred to as shadows, seemed to have a mind of its own. After the time, he couldn't control it, and the rules around it were never really explained. It all felt inconsistent, undeveloped, and sloppy. So with all the constant POV changes, the endless filler, side quests, and yet another tired, brooding, dangerous man who can't process his feelings trope, this book ended up being confusing, frustrating, and quite frankly, sickening. My advice: avoid it at all costs.
Burn it!
So do you think the shadow magic was purposely left vague to keep readers curious, or was it simply undeveloped? Do you think that the magic stories need to have the magic element fully explained, or can it be left to imagination?
We've had stories where it was actually left to imagination.
Like the book that we did the other day. Well, the witches.
What are you talking about? Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. Where you can get away with that. For example, the way it's done, you can get away with that. In my opinion, stories about magic always need strong world building. I think it's probably the first thing you should start with. Very strong world building, especially if it's going to be a series. That's kind of the world is an extra character.
Yeah.
You know, like you read Game of Thrones, whatever. Westeros is an extra character, and people get into all the locations, etc., etc. If it was up to me, always explain it. Always explain it. Always.
It wasn't really explained to Harry Potter, though, was it?
They did a much better job than they did here.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think Harry Potter is the magical system that's explained the best out of all of them. Out of any that I can think of, magic explained the best in Harry Potter, and it's the most detailed as well.
No, because the magic is not explained, where it comes from or, how it
That's not
works.
what I mean. I mean, yeah, how it works is explained. Obviously, the delivery system they have is explained. The wands. They've got the most information about wands as well.
Yeah,
I think they probably did a good job there in Harry Potter. You can over-explain stuff, though. I know what you're saying. Like, Lord of the Rings, that end, that's over-explained.
Oh, okay. Again, I've never watched that.
Yeah, but...
Maybe I need to go and watch this because you keep talking about it now.
Yeah, it's like
I
twice,
bet you haven't
man.
watched it.
I've watched Lord of the Rings. That'd be
All
silly.
of them?
Yeah, and The Hobbit.
Nerd. Do you think that the inconsistency with Tristan's powers meant to reflect his inner turmoil, or am I just making excuses?
No, I was literally about to say that. I'm surprised you said that. I was about to say it. To be fair, it's supposed to like an allegory for his inner darkness or whatever it is.
He's really good,
Yeah, but
that's
it's like,
what it was anyway.
I feel like if you as the author, I know the author didn't even say that, but I know if you the author have to say that, I feel like you did do a good job of showing it. If you have to tell it, she might have, fans like you who will just make excuses for her. Like, you'd like to make excuses for these authors. She might live like that. I mean, it's a bestseller, right? So
yeah, definitely.
Maybe, but I feel like that's weak. Which is, I was gonna say it anyway, but I still feel like it's a weak excuse. These kinds of things should be explained. It can also be an allegory for his inner darkness, but it also has to be something good in the book as well.
This is your last one.
Yep. I liked the callbacks to classic fairy tale stories. At first, I found it a bit cheesy, but unlike me, a lot of people grew up with these stories. Where I had Doctor Who and Star Wars, a lot of people had Cinderella, Rapunzel, Beauty and the Beast, The Princess and the Frog. I found at least one reference to all these stories, by the way. I don't know how many you noticed, Elijah. So that's one. It shows that there was an actual plan for how she wants her readers to feel reading the books. Shows that she at least...
So what, if you can give me an example of what?
Yeah, so there was a thing in the end of the book about glass slippers. I don't know if you saw that.
See, I hate stuff like that. And I hate stuff like that. And it's just like the other book that we read. I can't remember what it
Talking
was.
Frog, for example. Kingsley, the Talking Frog.
Yeah,
Princess and the Frog.
yeah. See, because I actually made a joke in it that I never made it in. But I said, I hope they're not going to kiss the frog or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly... it's supposed to be like a riff on that.
Yeah, see, I hate stuff like that. It's like the other book that we read with the witches. I can't remember what the magical guide of witches in. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it's called either.
We read the book the other day.
The same one was just talking about.
Yeah, the same one was talking about.
Go on.
They kept talking about a witch's guide to magical innkeeping. They keep talking about Wizard of Oz, and it's like, why do you keep doing that? I hate when people do that stuff. It's taking me out of the story. I want to be, immersed into the story. So it's like dumping a bucket of cold water. I mean, if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Because remember, we didn't really grow up watching that. We didn't really. I think we watched Wizard of Oz. I vaguely remember watching Wizard of Oz. But
I want to be, as I said, I want to read in the book. I want to forget that I'm even reading. And when I hear about, even celebrities or COVID or anything like that, even COVID, we spoke about this.
I think COVID is probably the best. You could probably get away with maybe because it was a huge world event. That's like bringing up World War II.
Yeah, but we're like, but it's like
if someone brings up World War II, would you be like?
You're trying. No, but when I see that, it's like you're trying too hard now to make it too real. We know this book isn't real, and now that I've seen you put COVID in here, now I remember it's not real, and I remember I'm reading. Before, I was just immersed in the book.
Look, it's fair. Everything you're saying is absolutely valid.
Yeah, it's just my opinion.
That's absolutely fair, and I've already forgotten about the fairy tales because that was just too valid of a point that you made. But with COVID, I'm literally just like, I was like 6 years ago. COVID was like 6 years ago. It's not like current or like relevant. If they said, I don't want to say anything too current.
World War II
for our one
is
viewer
okay.
leaves us.
So when we've read like post World War II books, that's fine.
Is there like a statute of limitations on it, like a number of years?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Fair
but
enough.
I don't know. I haven't thought.
No, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, World War II. We already know that's
maybe it's because it's so documented and it's just I don't know.
Maybe
anyway,
it's just such an interesting
get on
period.
to our quotes of the days if you are finished. I take it you want me to go first.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've gone back. It looks like you've gone back to relax the way. Quote of the day: sometimes not knowing that something is impossible makes it possible.
Nice, good quote. That's a good quote.
I thought it was quite a good quote.
I've heard it in many forms, though. That's the only thing I would say. I've heard it in many forms. I think I like the way you phrased it here. You know, it's just things about the possible and being possible and the impossible being possible and just variations of the word possible. And it just, I've heard it before. But, you know, they all have the same message.
So did it mean the same thing, though? In the when you said
I think it means slightly different things. I like the way your word was worded. And it is true because, like, it is true.
Well, I think it's true anyway. I don't know if it is.
You couldn't know.
Wait, what? Sometimes not knowing that something's impossible makes it possible.
You could never know. But you couldn't
I
know.
changed my mind. That can't be true.
You disagree now.
It can't be true.
Are you the first person to ever change your mind mid-quote and be like, no, I disagree?
Sometimes not knowing that something is impossible makes it possible.
But it wasn't impossible because you did it.
Exactly.
This is supposed to be like not caring that something might not be possible.
No, it's not even not caring. It's just not knowing.
No, but I think that's a better way to say it. Not caring that something might not be possible makes it possible.
I don't know, mate. I'm lost now. Just say your quote.
Quote of the day. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. I think that's
decent. Wait. We didn't give the book out of 5.
Oh yeah, we didn't skip
say
that
if
whole.
we was gonna recommend it.
You know what that means?
We know 0. Yeah, I'd go 0.
Would you actually go 0?
There wasn't a single thing I liked about the book.
I don't think I've ever said 0 to a book. I've ever said 0 before.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Briar Club, God of the Woods.
Oh, Briar Club. Jesus Christ.
What's the Mother Son? There's a few that you've disliked.
Would I actually go 0? I'm trying to think. Is there anything redeeming about this book?
I don't think there's anything.
No, let me.
Wasn't anything funny.
Let me check my notes real quick.
Check your notes. I think that says it all.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
0.
0 is fair enough.
Avoid at all costs. Till next time.
Till next time.